Yeah, I learned my right from wrong on a song. I let my heart bleed on my sleeve through microphones. I'm trying to right my wrongs. Promise I do. I ain't trying to stay up on that wide road, cause I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no.
Welcome back to the Urban Perspectives, where we bring you the stories that matter from the voices who live them. Today we have a guest whose story is one of the most well-known and misunderstood in American history. Rick Ross, better known as Freeway Rick, is a man who's seen both sides of the game. From being at the center of one of the biggest drug empires in the country to becoming a powerful advocate for change. Rick's journey is about resilience, transformation, and redemption. He educated himself behind bars, beat the system that once tried to bury him, and now he's out here building businesses and giving back to the very communities he once influenced. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Rick, let's start from a story that a lot of folks think they know, but should hear directly from you. You were deeply involved in the drug trade, moving weight on a scale that most people couldn't even imagine. What was it that caught you up to that life, and what ultimately led to you going to prison?
Running from poverty. I didn't like being poor. I didn't like being on welfare. I didn't like food stamps. It was poverty, broken windows in the house, rats, roaches, seeing my mom struggle from day to day. Yeah, that's what it was.
Let me ask you a question. Well, what do you think differentiated you from the other guys that had similar experiences but took a wholly different path?
Well, a lot of times people do what they know to do, what they see everybody else doing. Me, I kind of analyzed, my situation. I looked at, my mom brought me up in the church, so I always had respect for other people. And when I was thinking about me being totally illiterate, I couldn't read, couldn't write. My options were limited to what ways I could make money. And when I looked at the things that was going on in the street, I had to make a choice of which one I was going to take. Pimping was one.
Okay.
I grew up on Figueroa, so I saw pimping at firsthand. Robbing was another. I knew guys who took pistols and made their money. Stealing cars, which I joined a band of car thieves and did all right at it for a while, but eventually got caught and went to jail. And then I found out about drugs.
Okay.
When I saw drugs, I felt that drugs was really the best option for me because you wasn't hurting anybody.
Okay.
The people who you sold drugs to were glad to get them.
Okay.
Was excited when you had good drugs at a good price, and I felt that I was doing a common good.
I guess in many ways, selling the drugs was almost a victimless crime, and that there was an agreement between two parties, one to buy and one to sell.
Absolutely, and that's the way the law states it as well. When you go to court, the judge will read the instructions that it's a victimless crime, that you're not going to have anybody coming in testifying that, they had a pistol stuck in their face or they got hit over the head with a bat or anything like that, or they got something stolen from them. So essentially, it's considered a victimless crime, but the way they're looking at it, the overall picture is that
society is a victim.
Correct.
Let me just change course a little bit. You said that when you were in the street, you were basically illiterate.
Not basically, I was illiterate.
You were fully illiterate. But
correct.
Once you got inside the jail, you educated yourself.
Yeah. Reading and writing was something that, as a kid, I never thought that I'd be able to do. I don't know. I thought I had a learning
disability.
Impairment. Yes. and nobody ever sit me down and explained to me that learning was a technique.
Okay.
You know, that it was something that you had to be taught. You know, that you just didn't pick up reading and writing. It was something that was learned, and they never told me that the more you study, the better you get at it.
Okay.
So I didn't have any of those prior knowledge until I went to prison, and after I thought about it, you know, I said, well, you know, when I first started selling drugs, I didn't know nothing about drugs either. But you know, I made a valid effort to learn how to sell drugs, and I thought that I could make a valid effort on learning how to read and write.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
I think at some point I read that you got a degree, a college degree. Did you get an associate's or a bachelor's or something?
Yeah. I just got an honorary degree
All
a
right.
couple months back.
I hear you, homie. All right. That's a good look, man.
Yeah, that was cool. It was, you know, it wasn't something I really cared, because I don't really care about degrees,
Titles.
you know? I'm more that if you can do the work is more important than having a title. You know, I see a lot of people, and they go to these colleges and they get these degrees and so forth, but they can't do the work, you know? They can't do anything to back the degrees up. So I feel more about being able to do than having a degree. But I did take it.
As you should have, baby. Hey, listen. You're a subject matter expert in a lot of areas, and you've obviously rounded yourself out by further educating yourself. And man, big ups on Real Talk on this side from what you was able to accomplish, especially in the academic arena.
I appreciate it. And you know, when it's all said and done and people actually see, you know, how far my skills have come, because I haven't really been able to display my talents.
Okay.
Because so many things, you know, and in order to display those talents, you definitely need some money.
Okay.
You know, coming out here with, you know, getting on the street and not having any money to work with, you're fighting an uphill battle.
How long have you been home?
I've been home 15 years now.
Good God. Thank God, bro.
Time go by fast, man.
Yeah, but thank God. You've had, 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years now I've been home. You know, I've had some good times since I've been home. You know, a lot of the things that I learned while I was in prison, I'm glad that I did take the time out while I was in prison to redevelop myself, to learn that I can actually write my narrative.
Okay.
You know, I don't have to let the narrative play out per se. But I can actually sit down and write it out of exactly what it is that I'll be doing with my life.
There's an African narrative in a way. It says, until the lion learns to write, all the glory of the hunt will go to the hunter. You know? So you telling your story. Because other people told it for us, you know, but you got a chance to tell yours yourself.
Yeah. I done had mine told so many times by so many different people, you know, that it's time that it's gonna be told by the right person, you know. You know, we got this rapper out here, this, you know, telling my story and saying that it's his, which is cool, you know, get your money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people are getting tired of fake stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting tired of being lied to. You know, we got all these TV shows on TV that take the narrative and twist it the way that they want to twist it, and the story come out in all kind of different shapes and forms, and they portray. I mean, they never, you know, society is funny, you know, how Hollywood works, but they never want to show Black people in the light that they're really in, you know, because you know, I had a couple writers, you know, I probably working on this movie strip. I probably worked with about 8 or 9 different writers from Hollywood, and all of them say that my story is more of a love story than a drug story.
Uh-huh.
And Hollywood never wants to portray us in a love story. You know,
they have a stereotypical image that they want to promote. They think that this is what people want to hear, that this is what people buy. So they don't want to tell the backstory or to show that we multidimensional, you know, that, you know, yeah, we're not no singular dimension that they want to portray, you know, or want to perpetuate. Correct. And if we escape the cast, then that's a problem.
No doubt, no doubt. So those are some of the things that I'm working to overcome. You know, they said nobody wanted to read my book. You know, when I got out and I tried to get somebody to publish my book, I wound up having to self-publish.
Okay.
And my book is doing great right now. I made way more money than they offered me for the book.
Good look.
So they really don't understand. And now with you know, with me being able now to start to cross the pond, you know, they say our movies don't have foreign sales. And, you know, I read a lot of books on marketing while I read over 300 books while I was gone. So I read books on marketing because I'd heard the stories that black movies don't sell overseas. And what I found out is they don't sell overseas because we don't go overseas and promote them. The people overseas don't know about the story.
Yeah, that's the whole.
So
they said if you were going to have a story about you, you had to have a white boy as the lead. You had to be a sidekick. They'll tell you a story, but they want you to be a sidekick. And if you put a white lead in there, then it'll sell. But if you got a black leader, and they was able to make that argument for a while until Black Panther, you know, and it did over $1 billion.
Right.
Let me ask you something. I know a lot of people I know a lot of people have a moment in life when they realize that they need to make a change. For you, was there a specific aha moment that you decided to turn things around and become a part of the solution?
Well, you know, when I went into the drug business, I went into the drug business temporarily. You know, I never went into it to make a career out of it. I was never really proud of selling drugs. I felt that that I had stooped down below my normal by selling drugs. You know, my goal was to make it in tennis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I started selling drugs, I based my whole career after Superfly. Okay. You know, when you see Superfly at the end of the movie, he winds up getting out the game. And when I went in the game, I said that I wanted to get out the game. I wanted to get in, get myself, you know, planted and get out the game. Whether I had went to prison or not, that didn't matter to me. Because I understood that, you know, going to prison was part of the sacrifice if it was necessary.
With the territory.
Yeah, so that never scared me about going to prison. But I went in the game to get out the game. My whole time in the game was, I'm always telling myself, you got to get out. You got to get out, because I understood that you can get caught up in the game. You know, the game can twist you up, and I think selling drugs is more addictive than even using.
You know, I've been telling people that for years.
Exactly. So
listen, you made a major pivot in your life, moving from illegal drugs to becoming an entrepreneur in the legal cannabis business. But here's the reality. A lot of brothers and sisters are still serving time for marijuana and related offenses, while others are out here making millions in that same business. What do you think about the hypocrisy in that regard?
Well, I don't think that nobody ever should have did time for marijuana. I mean, the whole war on drugs is a bunch of crap. You know, how can you fight a substance? You know, there's no way that you can fight a substance. It's really a war against the poor and dumb. So when you look at this war on drugs, you know, you really got to just shake your head and say, man, these people are hypocrites. You know, the same people that used to lock you up for marijuana, now they own marijuana stores. They own the marijuana grows. And the people who fought to make sure that marijuana became legal, now they're either in prison or looking at an industry that they knew should have always been legal, but they can't get in.
Well, you were able to breach that moat, man, and came in and became, I guess, in a relative sense, a sort of a powerful force out in your city.
And you know, I told when I spoke to City Hall downtown LA about allowing convicted felons. You know, at first they didn't want convicted felons to even work in the industry. But when I spoke to him and I explained to him that had it not been for the people who went to jail for it, this it wouldn't be legal right now. And then they have guys who sold marijuana for 20, 30 years, but never got arrested because they was a different color.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the cops didn't really focus on them. Now they're legal marijuana dealers, and they never paid for their crime that they committed when it was illegal.
They never
when
paid
here
the
you
price.
are exactly, and now here you got people who actually paid the price for doing illegal drugs, but now you're locking them out because they got caught and went to jail.
Yeah, they can't get. Yeah, they're a convicted felon. Listen,
Right.
A lot of people know about the TV show Snowfall, which was loosely based on your life. What was it like for you seeing it, you know, yourself watching it and watching, I guess, in the instances where they took creative liberties?
You know, when I look at something like Snowfall, I met with the four most powerful guys in Hollywood when I got out. About a week or two after I was out of prison. I was still in the halfway house, and what I found out is that these people don't want a true story. They don't want a true Black drug story because they want us to be portrayed in a certain light so that they can continue to perpetuate this lifestyle that's made them so much money, this gangsterism, you know, the rap, people trying to commit crimes because they think that that's how these rappers got rich. So when I saw the show, I understood why I wasn't a part of it. I understood why they didn't come get me and say, you know what, we want to name the main character instead of Franklin, we want to name him Freeway. And that's because they knew that I wouldn't have went for the flim flam. You know, I wasn't going to let them take my character and do whatever they want to do with him.
You know, you become a voice for advocacy, especially for people coming home, re-entry, coming home from prison and trying to rebuild their lives. What advice would you give to someone walking out of the gates or from behind them barbed wire fences today?
Well, the most important thing is that you have to take your time and give yourself a chance. You know, I didn't come out to a perfect situation. 6 months after I was out of prison, you know, my mom lost her house. If anybody get a chance to watch my documentary, Freeway Cracking the System, they'll see that we got evicted out of my mom's house about 6 months after I was out of prison. Maybe
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Where's that documentary available at? Is it on Amazon Prime? I think
it's on Prime. But they can get it on my YouTube page. I put it on my YouTube page.
Okay.
So they could go to my YouTube page and check it out.
All right. So finish telling me about your mom. What happened?
So you know, while I was in prison, my mom took one of those predatory loans.
Okay.
And before I got out, I knew that she had did that and that the house was in trouble. My younger sister had told me that the house was in trouble. When I got out, I tried to save it, did everything I could. We lost the house for like $46,000 or something like that there. And that put us all in homelessness. So for about a year, you know, I was homeless.
Okay.
You know,
I didn't know that.
I was homeless for about a year with 2 babies. You know, it just kind of threw me for a spin. You know, to be in that situation. But I overcame that too. I mean, I had prepared myself for whatever obstacles came my way. But I said that under no circumstance would I go back to selling cocaine.
Okay.
Even with marijuana, you know, it was hard for me to get into the marijuana business. I really didn't want to get in it at first. But one of my partners talked me into going to a marijuana event. And when I saw the event and I saw the police guarding the guys that were selling marijuana, and they had marijuana in the open, and I realized then that it was really legal.
Hey, listen, my brother. Big thanks to you, Rick, man, for joining us today and sharing this powerful story. Rick's journey from the streets to the boardroom shows that it's never too late to rewrite your legacy. It's just not about what you overcome. It's about what you're doing now to be part of the solution and helping others to do the same, man. So again, homie, man, big ups to you, bro. You are a shining example, man, of resilience and intestinal fortitude, man. And always in my thoughts, man, always in my prayers, man.
I appreciate you too, man, and we gonna connect and do some big things.
Yeah, all right, baby. Stay up and stay safe, man. One love.
One love. Hey, y'all follow me on Instagram at Freeway Rick.
All right, son. You got that.
All right.
Keep the conversation going. Talk about the issues. Get involved in your communities. Don't forget you can catch this in every episode of the Urban Perspectives, wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget, if his words hits home for you, keep the conversation going. Talk about the issues. Get involved in your communities. Don't forget, you can catch this in every episode of the Urban Perspectives, wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear these stories, and let's keep these conversations going. Remember, change starts with us. One voice, one action, one step at a time.
'Cause I can't let them take my soul. Nah, nah, nah.